Church ain't no organization, it's not no religion, it's about real people who do real things.
Everyone in the world is going to bed one night or another with fear or pain or loss.
Because as you know, many of the people that are in church, they are not the same when they are at home. So they change, they transform when they get in the building.
It's amazing. Wherever that abides in the human being, there is the nobleness of the human spirit.
What is your real name?
Listen, these things is hypocrisy. It happens all the time. Now, I'm not saying that it's Christianity or it's Buddhism or it's Catholicism. All of the religions do it.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise.
We'll be talking about relationship, politics. We'll be talking about religion. I mean, we'll be talking about all kinds of things from a true perspective.
Does my sassiness upset you?
Explain how you know how I feel.
Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room.
Sun in the sky, you know how I feel.
Just like suns and like moons, with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high.
Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel.
Still I rise. Did you want to see me broken?
It's a new dawn, it's a new day.
Bowed head and lowered eyes.
It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn.
Shoulders falling down like teardrops.
Life for me.
Weakened by my soulful cries. Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh. As if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I'll rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
And I'm feeling good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Reverend Point Blank and the Reverend Point Blank's lair, sitting here with JUDY and TORO. And we're here because there's a situation that happened at a hospital, St. Elizabeth, that happened to you and some people you know. You want to tell us about that? Wait, first of all, this is your mother.
This is my mom.
This is JUDY, and you're JUDY.
Yes.
So JUDY, and TORO.
Yep,
just
my
so you know.
10
So
years.
JUDY, tell us about that.
I wanted to come on camera today, just on your show, Church, just to put my story out about how I was mistreated at St. Elizabeth. I was misdiagnosed. It caused me to almost lose my children to DCFS. They motioned for my rights. I won the case. When I made one mistake, they put another case on me. This is the second case I'm in, and I'm already winning that one. I already won it again. But if I would not have been misdiagnosed, when I say misdiagnosed, I had a high anxiety behind the situation that happened to me. And instead of, I had someone that works in a hospital, that was my neighbor at the time, who falsified paperwork, but that's not what this is about. She does work in a psych unit. But when she falsified that paperwork, that label followed me. When I went to St. Elizabeth for help, that's when I started seeing that the treatment there was not fair to minorities, especially if you don't have any money. I was thrown in the hospital about 5 to 7 times. I was mishandled by law enforcement just because I had the label schizophrenia when I was not schizophrenia. I had a therapist write out on my behalf 3 times before she quit, saying, "You guys are going to kill this girl. You're giving her the wrong medicine." Only when I had PTSD was the real diagnosis from that therapist. Only when I switched hospitals to Loretta, I vouched for Loretta, I was taken care of. My medicines was readjusted, and I'm now on the proper medications. I take anger management willingly. I take therapy because I did almost lose my children. It affected my marriage. They did this to my brother and sisters while my mom's here. Same hospital. And they did it to many more. We had to be quiet in the hospital, or we were threatened with upping our medications. And people didn't believe us. Um, it's hard for me to speak out about it, but I'm tired. I didn't sue the city because I wanted to secretly help my people out. But now I want to file a grievance against St. Mary's. I am in works with these beautiful people here and with Jermont Terry from the Channel 2 CBS. We are unified together to put this story out to save lives. And there's more going on. There's the fact that if someone in a community of the Hispanic community gets arrested and goes to this hospital, it's just only so they can avoid jail time. And they laugh about it.
It's not St. Elizabeth's anymore.
It's in the psych unit part that this happens, in the psych ward. And I don't even like that title. They should call it mental care unit.
So let me check it this straight. You were diagnosed with a misdiagnosis,
Yes.
and you were under stress and duress.
Yes.
And you ended up in the psych situation, and all that
Yes.
paperwork followed you. And as a result of that foundational trail, your life has been kind of a living hell
Yes.
because they think you're crazy.
Emotional distress.
Yeah, and they diagnosed it incorrectly.
Yes.
So they don't understand. Like some of the people that are killed by police officers may be mentally ill.
Yes.
This is kind of what we're dealing with.
I have a brother right now that I advocated on his behalf a month ago. He's been locked up for 2 years for something he didn't do. But we kept telling him that he really does have schizophrenia. They did not want, that's why they just diagnosed me with it, because they said it was hereditary.
So you're talking about suing the hospital now?
Yes, but I say that because he's one of the ones that now that his medicines are being readjusted, he should never been in a prison
in the first
system.
place, shouldn't have medicine like that.
Yes,
in the
there's
first
men
place.
and women in there that if they get their medicines readjusted to whatever it is, PTSD, anxiety, stress, bipolar, schizophrenia, all of that. If they get their medicines readjusted, we could save our communities a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of deaths could be off the table. Like the officers would have less to fear because some
Proper
people,
diagnosis.
Yes, proper diagnosis, because you do got some people that are in a manic state that are dangerous, and officers have a right to be scared. But what about the tasers? We could go off into that, but seriously, even if that person dies with a label of schizophrenia, what if that person just had PTSD and they died under a label and their voice was never heard? I'm that voice. I'm that voice for all my mental care patients who was ashamed. I'm the voice for people like my husband when people made fun of him for sticking by my side, when all the girls was flirting with him and stuff, like why he with her whispering in his ear. All of that could have ruined our marriage. My kids, I almost lost my kids to the system. They tried to snatch my rights. My son almost turned to gangs because of it. And I had to fight to still be mommy through all of this.
But here's the powerful part about it. I understand you've been going through it, and I can't imagine what it feels like. But you and your husband have done dynamic things, and not consider Mama here because she's been there the whole time, I'm sure.
Yes.
And to have that family support, and right now we were talking about it. What can we do? What needs to be done now to make a difference so that it doesn't happen again? What do you know in your head that you could see possibly needs to change outside of the diagnosis?
Okay.
In the system of it?
I could tell you what I'm rallying for. I'm rallying for law enforcement to partner with all of the OGs, no matter what gang set it is, and to show them their respect. And if any of these young guys that are claiming to be under your flag are out here popping guns off, and you know it, that goes down under your gang. It's giving you a bad name. It's causing law enforcement to come in into our communities and mess up what we doing, and we just smoking weed and having fun. So it's stressful, and us women have been behind the scenes tired of it. So I'm asking for law enforcement to partner with the streets and to stop the bloodshed, please.
Well, if I were going to look at it, and I listened to your story, I've heard many of them, I'm thinking that it's like the Ku Klux Klan in blue uniforms. If you really want to be honest about it, they're shooting black people in the back. I've seen them take white people into custody by tasing them, but they're alive, whatever way they do it.
Let me tell you guys something, and I respect that point of view. But I work with the 11th district with two. One of them I know for sure is a black sister from the south side, love motorcycles. So police officers. And she's working with this movement with me to stop the bloodshed. So should she take a bullet too? because the Ku Klux Klan started something that she's trying to fix from within.
Right. But
That's not fair.
the problem sometimes.
And she's doing it with God on her side.
Yeah. Like I was in LA, they have this group that have these tattoos. They're
That's not
actually
right.
gangs.
They need to be up
Right.
out of the system.
And so
then.
when somebody says something, and so one of the laws that I heard the politicians talking about was having one officer be accountable for the other officer.
That's not
When
cool.
he sees something
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
he needs to be able
yeah.
to stop them.
I agree with that.
He needs to be able to say, "Hey, that's wrong."
I don't. And then
Yeah.
if that don't work, report them in.
Well, and that's the problem. When they report them, they lost their jobs. Various
And if you
sisters
lose
and
your
officers-
jobs, come on this show and expose who fired you. But at the end of the day, the second point I want to make, last year my shoulders was dislocated to the 1 percentile by a pastor that identified himself as a cop. And if I could still stand here and call unity, it was dislocated to the 1 percentile over my ear. I didn't
pastor?
do anything wrong. I was threatened not to go on camera or they was going to go after my mom. And here I am saying this. If I could still call for unity because we got black sisters and brothers and Hispanic sisters and brothers and mixed sisters and brothers on the police force. And they scared to walk their own communities with their families, y'all. Because y'all putting hits out on CPD, fuck 12. Stop. Or us women going to start standing up and we're going to secretly put our own money into Chicago, billionaire, trillionaire, sextillionaire status, and just get y'all up out of here and run with Mayor Lightfoot when she put the weed in. Where the 4 weed cafes that y'all didn't fund? I want it in the city now. Come on. Where the casino at? Come on. We can't have it because we can't walk around the city and like New York do on a Friday night with their ice blinking and they toys is their cars, not their guns. Keep your guns at the fuck home. If you ain't concealed to carry, you shouldn't have it. Law enforcement should be on every fucking block every weekend so we can walk around with our blunts and our drinks and have fun like we used to do in the 90s. Why y'all stopping law enforcement from helping us out in our Chicago community? Because there's a lot of women like me. A lot of women. They scared to talk. But I'm their voice, y'all. That's why I don't have a voice now. Seriously, I've been advocating for my women out here. I almost lost my life doing it. But guess what? I'm still here trying to create a legacy for my girls. Because if I'm going to lose my life, I do not want them walking the Chicago streets because it's not safe. Not even with their boyfriends. Because if y'all look at them the wrong way and their boyfriends try to stand up for them, y'all going to do them like y'all do my husband. Y'all going to play the race war or y'all going to play with y'all blickies. And that ain't cool. So that's a message from Miss K. If you want to know what I'm about. I'm a poetress. That's it. Dominant. I'm a mom. I'm a child of God and I'm a wife.
Sound like you got a hell of a voice to me.
Thank you.
And,
I appreciate that.
I'm that's 14 different stories that what you just talked about, the police situation, the mental health situation, I mean, all of the things with the family supporting each other. There's a lot of stuff there. So we're gonna have to get you back too, because
would
we
love
need
to
to break
come back.
this down so we can make it make sense. Because I'm sure these people are like, wow, and it's going on. It's called systemic racism.
It's pro
happening-
bono.
Yes. It's
So for
happening all
me,
the way around.
do it pro bono, y'all. Like we doing it. Don't wait for the money to come. Spend your own money. Let's get our city back right.
So the
Let's
question,
stop waiting on this aldermans and stuff. They ain't doing shit. They's misusing the resources for their families. You want me to talk? Because I've been in my community a long time. And I know
the question
I
is,
could vouch.
what can we as individuals do? What can you say to us? Say, look, just do this. Like, but I was telling
I
to a
got an
brother, let me
answer
say
for
this.
that.
I was saying to a brother, he was talking about the pollution. I said, well, wash your ass, brush your teeth.
No.
I'm saying start
He's
with
right
yourself.
though. He's trying to start a cause.
Well, yeah.
So what I would do
So
is
what can we do? Yeah.
I would go to anybody in my local community or district first, your district, and see who in your district that's under your youth that you could be an OG to and support their cause. Whether it's financially, whether they just need a ride or bus cards, whether anything to keep them out of crime, y'all.
Explain to them what an OG is
A
so they
OG
know
to
to
me
go to.
is if you scared to go to law enforcement and you know you don't want your family involved and you in a gang or you into some heavy stuff in the streets, go to the person who affiliated you. Because if they find out you out there running wild with blickies and stuff, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be happy. Because if the OGs stand about what they say they stand about, they should be able to turn you into law enforcement when you're ready. If you committed a crime of killing a kid or something. You need somebody to hold you accountable is what I'm saying. We need somebody to hold these wild ones accountable. The ones that's carjackers. Somebody know who's doing it. And if y'all don't want to tell law enforcement and if y'all got a no snitch rule, then where's the oath? Where's the oath that y'all took to make sure women can walk and kids can walk and elderly can walk? I got a disabled daughter. She looks perfectly fine. She survived 12 seizures. And she went to Malcolm X last year with no IEP, fighting for her IEP, and still passed the Constitution by herself with no help. But people like that can't walk the streets because if she dressed nice and put a halfway top on, that's where it go back to the men at. That's the OGs need to get that in line too. If you know your men out here harassing women, if you know you got a hotel building or something where families stay, and you got men out there, squares and this and that, and prostitutes, all y'all need to get up off the streets. Nobody gonna wanna fund our cities because of y'all. You making us look bad. I ain't black. I might not look like it, but I was raised in my black community. But because I did not speak, because I didn't look black, I wasn't accepted. And the Spanish people didn't accept me because I looked black and I didn't speak Spanish. So I was in a mix of my own. Period. It's called love, unity, and peace. Human beings, female, male. I had to identify. Because at the end of the day, I wasn't cool with what I was seeing. Since a teenager to now. So I walk with my head down. I escaped the sex trade. My first baby is a rape baby. We could talk, but that's for a later show. That's for a later show.
I'm sitting there.
And she is CEO at 22 of her own nail company. A rape baby.
I swear to God, I'm sitting here, and I'm going to just off the cuff say, Sister got a voice. This is Sister got a voice, all right? That's what I'm going. Now, I want to say something. I want to ask your husband, because that's a lot. Toro, man, tell me how this has affected you. I mean, you had to be the backbone behind this whole thing. I mean, you know, you had to be dealing with it. What did it do to you, man? When these women came to you and all these different things happened.
I just take day by day and roll with it. Some days are good, some days are bad. I ain't even gonna lie. And the bad ones be the worst ones.
What's the matter?
No. But stay with a pack.
Smoke a little bud.
Stay with a pack. Stay
Get
with
it
a pack all
done.
day, yo.
Everything good. Hey, listen, we're going to wrap it up, but we're going to come right back and talk about some other things. So stand by, Toro, stand by, Judy. Judy ain't saying nothing, but she is the powerful backbone for this all because that's Mama. We'll be right back. I'm the Reverend Point Blank.
I'm surprised it wasn't you.
You know, as I said before, this story is amazing. And this is not just her story. There are many in this country with the same very exact story. There are many with different stories, but it's the same. And the foundation of this, people don't realize, her pain is deep, but her pain runs a hell of a lot deeper. Mama birthed this child. She don't say anything, she don't have to. Every time she went through something, every time she felt the pain of it, she felt it 10 times more. You see how calm she is? She knows that getting excited is not going to fix it. She trains her mind, calms her spirit, and gets the job done. She's behind you and been behind you the whole time, right?
She has.
Same as Toro here. This brother cool as a fan. You'd see him, I said, man, that's Puerto Rican. But Puerto Ricans are black. But I would say that because you cool as a fan. But I was in Ponce. Them brothers got them cars that's popping, locking, and everything, and they just as cool as.
She Mexican.
Yeah. Oh, you Mexican?
Mexican and Cuban.
Oh, some of the Mexicans don't like Puerto Ricans. You know that, don't you?
I don't give a fuck about none of
If I
that.
had,
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't give a fuck about none of that.
That's
if
what
I had an
Dumb
opinion,
shit.
Puerto Ricans are mean.
dumb shit.
Puerto Ricans are a little bit mean.
So let me ask you
Dumb
this.
shit.
So
Keep
let-
the good weed floating.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, my brother. And so I'll ask you earlier, how does all this with her affect you and has been affecting you? We know Mama has been carried the burden of it.
Goddamn good smoke.
That's that good weed, y'all. That's that good weed, baby. See, that good weed to do that. So how has it affected you?
Honestly, at first it was something catastrophic, you know, because everything just all of a sudden changed. But it ain't changed, you know. The love and the unity was always still there with me, my wife, my kids. So it was just something catastrophic,
I mean,
unexplainable. you have to be in them shoes to feel them.
That's what I was about to say. So, what did it provoke you to anything at all?
You gotta elaborate that.
Did it make you want to break something?
Or did it make you want to go towards the coochie outside the marriage? Like, let's talk, y'all. Sorry, mama.
Were you ever enticed?
I'm sure he was.
You know,
And we talked about that, y'all. We dealt with our marriage in private.
I live my everyday life as I do. Get up, go to work, knock my shit out, task by task. That's why I'm one of the top-notch electricians.
That's why I never cared.
And give a fuck what no fellow other electrician got to say. Because my word is bond. And my work shows it. Just a man of my word.
And your work speaks for your word, don't it?
And my word is bond. And when I took them vows, that's what it was.
Yeah.
No matter what outside of that pops up.
Yeah. And shit does happen. But again, a vow is a vow. An honor is an honor. I want to thank you for coming out. You have a poem. Would you do that poem you was telling me about? I would love to close this out with that.
Right.
You were talking about it earlier. I got it.
Okay.
You giving it to mama.
Okay.
Go and hit that and then go give me some of that poem because I was listening. No, get you another good one. I want to choke it up.
The story behind this poem, man, is the reason I went to a church one time and the pastor said, Salvation and Deliverance in Spalding. The pastor said, if I had a DVD of your life, what would you be embarrassed about on the weekends that you do? So I wasn't embarrassed about too much because I always try to follow the straight and narrow. So I was like, you know what, I curse a lot. I wouldn't want the pastors and them to see me curse. And when I got home, it was almost like if I could think for God, he probably would say, if you could curse, if you could not want to curse in front of the pastor, how much do you believe in me if you say I'm with you every day, but you curse, every day freely? So it made me think about my actions, and it made me be accountable for my mouth. So I didn't want to pop out into poetry or anything until I got that under control. But it ain't under control, y'all. I curse. So I'm just letting y'all know.
No, you don't curse. You use explicit language.
That's explicit language.
Absolutely.
That's
Cursing is saying you're going to die, you're going to hell.
Yeah, so see, that's what I mean. He right. There's a terminology for it. I use explicit language.
Because you and I both know, before you say that they don't hear hither and thou no more.
Nope.
Reap what you sow, they don't hear none of that shit. So you got to knock a nigga upside the head with some motherfucking words.
Y'all need some common sense.
They need some common sense.
Use common sense. Stop putting money into other things other than your significant other and those children. If you don't have life insurance, you failing yourself and your kids. It's not fair for them to have to sit and wait for you to come from behind bars, even if you set them up straight with money. They need that love, period. If I have to say anything, this man right here is an example to me of what a true man should be, because when I wasn't loving on him and I couldn't be there for him because I couldn't be there for myself, he stuck by my side with tears in his eyes. If he could do it, knowing that everybody else was throwing everything else in his face, but his vows came first. Not saying he didn't look. We looked together, y'all. We're going to have a wife one day. That's for future stories. But at the end of the day, it's like this. Get yourself together. Put your money into your household. Put your money into your nearest vacant lots. Come on.
In other words,
invest.
In other words, get your shit together.
Common sense. Listen to this brother. For real, if you ain't been listening to him and this is my first time meeting him, I'm honored.
Well, let me say this. She coming back because, quite frankly, I've never met a woman with this sister got a voice. Sister got a voice for you, brother. And that's what I'm going to call from now on. And whenever you hear her, get ready, because the shit's about to explode with the absolute truth. Am I right or wrong?
He's absolutely right.
You coming at it. And Toro, I got to give it up to you. Nigga, cool as a motherfucker. Let me hit that joint, man.
There you go. You can spark this.
No, I got one right here. I got one. No, I got one.
You're supposed to have two. No, seriously. We're going to make them do two on live. Come on. Both of them. On behalf of us. Because that's how we do smoke together, y'all. When our babies ain't around, me and my hubby smoke. So there we go.
We're going on the two-hit quitter.
Come on. And he got to hold it in for 5 seconds. Ready? And let's go. You got to take a big hit, too. Oh, snap. And blow it out your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's still holding it. Because I counted too fast, y'all. Damn. Sorry, y'all. That's the me y'all not supposed to see. That's only for hubby. Oh, wow. True G with it. true
There you go.
OG.
Pass
If y'all
it
haven't
down.
been listening to y'all OG, y'all snoozing. For real. I'm telling you. This show should have been popping. I wish I would have found it sooner. But let's read this poem, y'all. The only thing that I was ashamed about to myself was I was using my explicit words to break down my fellow brothers and sisters when I was mad.
Make them understand.
Yeah, so I feel like the Bible said, if you want to go back to church, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if I'm mad, I don't have no right saying things to my husband, whether it's about the past, whether it's about things he hasn't done, whether it's things he hasn't made, even with my sisters, even with my friends. You have no right. If you can't sit down and have a plan, if that friendship or relationship can go past that disagreement, if it can't, drop it, no beef. If it can, then continue on and prosper together.
Right.
But if y'all can't do that with each other, stop wasting everybody's time. Get some common sense. Stay in your own little bubble and figure out your life. Have a plan. That's one thing he said, and I listened to him too, because I like to hear people's mission statements. He said, have a plan. Have a plan about your life. What are you doing in the next 6 months? Summertime coming.
There's 24 hours in a day. How many of those hours do you spend with yourself? While you running around at banks, you running around with your
How many
job.
do you spend on your goals?
Yes, that is the bottom line. So this poem, let me hear it. Hit the, see with the
Here
weed.
you go.
I'm gonna tell you, this we blazing up in here with this shit. We got my alarm ain't never won. I got Rasta in the house. Trust me,
Rasta.
Jamaica
Shouts out
is in
Big
the house.
G. No,
Puerto
yeah,
Rico.
Rick. Shout out Rick.
Ricky, who was Ricky?
Rick 11th District with the good smoke.
Rick.
Net holding it down though, net. But look,
Give it to
Pressure
me.
Point. It's called Pressure Point. I will be featuring this in 2 weeks at Scoreboard, so check me out soon, Miss K, via Facebook. So here we go. Temperature is rising, and my patience is running low. This conversation took a turn that I was hoping it wouldn't go. Now I'm forced to speak, and the things that I have to say, I probably shouldn't say them, but I'm going to say them anyways. Now my mouth is running, and I'm at the point of no return. And the things that are coming out will definitely leave a burn. Temperature is going down, but confusion starts to set. This is definitely an argument that we both soon won't forget. You because my words hurt, and they seem to come from far. Me because I failed again, and my heart will hold this scar. So my open prayer before you, God, is to help me hold my tongue, especially on the days when I know I didn't do nothing wrong. And when I'm blessed to see your face on my homecoming day, I want to make you proud of me by the things I didn't say. Miss Judy K. Acevedo. Mrs. Judy K. Acevedo.
All right, I like that. All right.
We'll be talking about relationship, politics. We'll be talking about religion. I mean, we'll be talking about all kinds of things from a true perspective.
Does my sassiness upset you?
Explain how you know how I feel.
Why are you beset with gloom? Just 'cause I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room.
Sun in the sky, you know how I feel.
Just like suns and like moons, with the certainty of tides. Just like hope springing high.
Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel.
Still I rise. Did you want to see me broken?
It's a new dawn, it's a new day.
Bowed head and lowered
It's a
eyes.
new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn.
Shoulders falling down like teardrops.
Life for me.
Weakened by my soulful cries. Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just 'cause I laugh. As if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words. You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs?
And I'm feeling good.